Jacob, hello. Hi. Sorry. I was trying to fix my connection. Tommy! Thank you for the heart me. Hello, friends. How's the sound? I don't have my headphones on, but is the reverb okay? No reverb? And is the mic picking up the wind? Thank you. I appreciate it. Wind chimes are noisy. Oh man. You're here for the auction? If I need to take the mic out and just put my leave my phone. Hold on. Let me see if this. I don't want it to be sensitive. Did that help at all? Warrior, hello, beautiful. Thank you. How are you? Scott, welcome in. I'm doing all right, thank you. I'm glad you're good. Hello, Allison. Jeremy, I need you to hurry home because I'm having an issue with everything that I wrote. It's not showing up on this phone. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Jeremy, I'm putting you in a box so you can babysit for just a second. I'm bidding. The starting bid is 2 roses. Wow. Wow. Do y'all want to come in boxes for a second so I can do something? Scott, welcome in.
You picked the worst person to take over this.
Okay. If anyone else wants to be in a box for a second while I handle this, I'll be right back.
Hi, Tommy. How's everybody today? I don't think she knows if she stays on the coffee cup too long, it might just disconnect, and that would be unfortunate. Gotcha. I can't help it. If I'm not giving her a hard time, no one will. Looking at your coffee cup,
I
I feel like
requested
I'm
you.
out for tea.
I don't know how to pause it. Okay, I do know how to pause it. I apologize. I'm sorry. I should have just paused it. It's my first time. Give me a break. It's not my first time, but I'm a slow learner, okay?
That's what you want to call it.
You're banned. How are you banned? Oh. No way I can't hear you either, Jeremy. Probably because I don't have headphones. Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, you weren't hearing me? Huh?
Is it my connection or your connection? Miss R, thank you so much. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Oh, it's your
I'm in the middle of
connection.
nowhere.
Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere. Okay, dropping you down. Unless
All
we
right,
do
I'm up.
boxes,
All right.
I'm happy to host boxes for this chat because I need lots of involvement. Jeremy just sucks because his connection sucks. Sorry. Hello, beautiful. How are you? How's your weekend been? There were a few more people coming in. I don't know if I should give them a minute. I'm one of those people that likes to be right on time. How's everybody's weekend? Mine's been rather exhausting, but fulfilling in some aspects. You're on your friend's boat eating carrots. Man, that sounds wonderful. The boat part. I'm not sure about the carrots. I'm glad you've had a good weekend. Tommy, how about you? Jacob? Allison? How's y'all's weekend been? That's wild behavior. Every day is your weekend. Okay, but do you save your weekend to do absolutely nothing, or do you do everything on the weekends? That's what I want to know. I'm curious. Good, Jacob. I'm glad. You do nothing every day. Oh my gosh. You do stuff. What is considered nothing? I would get so bored doing nothing every day. Though sometimes I'm like, I should have just done nothing today. In reality, I know better. And if I did nothing, I would be angry at myself. Your nothing is everything. Okay. So you do a lot of things, you just consider it nothing? Why? You don't have value in your time? You don't value your time and effort? You get depressed if you're not busy. Well, I do the same thing, though I feel like sometimes sitting with our own thoughts is really healthy, and I don't let myself sit in my own thoughts, so that's why I keep myself busy, is so that I can put off what I should be dealing with, and that's not healthy. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Hello, Troy. How are you? I'm sorry I did not join you guys last night. I was exhausted. Just creep in. We'll creep away. You're fine. Welcome in. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you've had a good weekend. You guys, today's topic is a hard one for me. And it's friendships, relationships with people. Everything that goes along with having friends as adults and how that looks. Jade, hello, beautiful. Welcome in. So I'm really curious for all of you in here. Do you find making friends as adults easy or difficult? Slayton! Hello! How are you, Slayton? Hello, hello. Thank you for the populars. Good. I'm glad you're doing all right. Am I the only one that feels like, I miss you, Jade. Only one that feels like they have a really hard time keeping friendships or making genuine friendships when it comes to being an adult? I had the same issue as a kid, but I'm just curious. In adulthood, why is it so hard? Is it the expectation that we set for other people? The expectations that we set for ourselves? Or is it a little bit of both? I feel like I can make them, but they leave when they see the real me. Jacob, is that because we're not involving ourselves with genuine people? Are we entrusting the wrong people? I think so. Set in their ways. Yep. So just a daily friendship affirmation that I want to start out with is I am worthy of connections that feel safe, genuine, and mutual. Each day I learn to honor my needs without feeling guilty. I welcome the kind of friendships that uplift and respect the person that I am becoming. You are worthy of connections that feel safe, genuine, and mutual. Each day, we're learning to honor our own needs without feeling guilty. Welcoming kinds of friendships that uplift, respect the person we are becoming, the person that we are growing. I'm grateful for my long distance relationships, friendships too. I agree. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. It's easier to have friends from work, but when we don't... Hold on, I'm going to decline this. I can't read the comments when you're asking me to babble. Okay. When we don't work together anymore, it disappears. That's a good one. I understand that. I feel like I think that's a lot of adult people's issues, is when you leave the workplace, those friendships died down. But is it because we're on a surface level friendship because you have something to relate to? I love you, sweet. Thank you. So I heard a quote once that you are the people, your future looks like the people you're currently spending your time with, or you're putting your time in with. And that made me reevaluate by looking at the other people I was spending time with. Do their goals match my goals? We have standards that we unknowingly lower them, and when we get lonely or need to fill a void, yes, I'm going to touch on that. I love that. A lot of people recognize that. Some people don't. But we spend so much time with creating friends and building friendships. I have a really bad habit of wanting to just feel loved. So I do things, or I put effort into people that really don't feed my goals. And often I just surround my people with, I don't care. I just want to be surrounded by people. I want a temporary love, and that's not where we should be. We really need to build deeper relationships. And sometimes that takes an evaluating us and our friends. Deeper surface in the same way I'll separate its adult lives. I feel like these need to be in boxes. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at reading my screen. Hold on, let me make it bigger so I can actually see it. I I have a bad habit of just surrounding myself with people. It doesn't matter who they are, what they are. I love to have people over. I love to host things. I love the idea of being surrounded by people that I love, but that doesn't always mean that it's healthy, because do they actually love me? Do I actually love them? Do we meet on a deeper level, or do I just love the idea of being friends with them? Your best friend is your son. I love that. Me too. Mark, hello. Being parents and relationships, yes. It's hard as a parent to have other friendships with adults, especially if they don't have children. They don't understand. But you know, there's friendships, all different kinds of levels of friendships, and we have to make sure that we don't have expectations of people that can't meet those expectations. There are friends who uplift us. There are friends who are just there present to make sure that we're not alone. But at some point, if those relationships are carrying us down or bringing us down, we have to find our boundaries, and we need to communicate with the people. Healthy to surround yourself with good people. Yeah, I agree. Surrounding yourself with just people in general, I've done that before, and then other people love them, but I see past the surface level, and they're not the kindest person. They're really not. Have you ever, I mean, I've had my experience with popular people in the past. Don't get me wrong, not every popular person is an ugly heart, but there are some really popular people that everyone loves that they end up having a very ugly heart and how they treat people. But I still wanted to be friends with them because I wanted to fill a void there. And at some point, you have to realize they bring us down just as much. I am not a fan of going behind other people's backs and backstabbing them to other people or to me. If you come to me and you're backstabbing someone, but then you turn around to their face and aren't willing to say that, that's an immediate red flag to me, and you're no longer a deep-leveled friend to me. You're surface level. Live with those who help you be your best. Choose whose presence call forth your virtue. I love that. I love that. Oh, thank you, Jade. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I wrote points down, and now they're hard to find because some of them are hard because we have a lot of friends that are online, and I do not take for granted having relationships with or friendships with people online. In fact, I've met some very genuine people on this app specifically. Having distant relationships and friendships are great, and but they don't always fill the void that we need. We need to make sure that we're building friendships and relationships with people outside this app. And it's really hard to do as adults. It really is. One of the things I recently gave advice to was finding a gem or finding a volunteer group or support group that goes out and does things for other people. Because if you're trying to fill a void for yourself, perhaps that void is not something you can do by adding friends or relationships to. Maybe it's going and serving other people and building that relationship with other people, even though it may just be temporary. You may never see that person again. I took my kids to a homeless shelter yesterday, and we volunteered and served other people. And how fulfilling that was after a week of feeling very unfulfilled by things and being brought down by a lot of things that are going on in my personal life. Instead of focusing on, oh, woe is me, I said, we're going to go do this and think about other people. And that made a huge difference on my mindset. outreach work. I see homeless people in the bath all the time, and I want to do more for them. Exactly. And it's not just the homeless people. Maybe it's someone that you know that just really needs someone to sit with. Now, I don't always have the time to do things for other people. I have 5 children and a full-time job, and I get it, everyone's busy. That doesn't mean that we can't send flowers or send that text of, hey, I'm thinking about you, how are you doing? That text message goes a really long way. It really does. Or that phone call goes a really long way. I know, last week I mentioned that a friend of mine, knowing that I was going through a really hard time with some things, sent flowers once a week. You can't afford to do that. Understand? Send a message. Send a letter. Communicate what you can do for someone. Don't leave it open to what can I do for you. And if someone says, what can I do for you? Communicate what you need. Perhaps that person can't meet your needs, but if we're communicating with our friends and saying, hey, I can't do this for you, call your granddad. Call whoever you need to call. But here's the thing about relationships and friendships is if you're not communicating with your friends, how are they supposed to know what you need? Just to show the love. Exactly. Y'all, if I jump up screaming, it's because there's a wasp, and I'm a big baby when it comes to wasps. I missed it, Lent. Of course I love eggs. Loneliness hurts. It does. Feeling like you're alone really hurts, or feeling like you're making all the effort hurts, but have you communicated to your people what you need? The stick hurts worse. Wow. Hello. Thank you for the heart, me, Tanya. Hello, beautiful. Mermaid, hello. Thank you. Thank you for the heart, me. Hello. For those of you that just came in, we're talking about friendships and relationships. I haven't got to the boundaries part, but right now we're talking about communication. I'm good, thank you. Communicating to the people who you love what you can do for them or what they can do for you. Buzz, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. The tiny, tiny float. I love that. Sometimes it takes a small village to get help. It can be hard to ask for it though. Yes, it can. It really is hard to ask for help. But if you think about it, we already have friends or people that we consider that we love or that love us. Oh my gosh, Jacob. Thank you. How do we have friends and still feel lonely? Perhaps it's because they can't meet our needs, or we're not meeting theirs, or something has happened. We know that we still love and care about them, but perhaps we're not communicating, sweet, thank you, what we need from them. There's all different kinds of relationships that we can have. We have our deep relationships with people, and then we have surface level friends. Does that mean that there's something wrong with you or I that we just have surface level? No. That's okay, too. But at what point do we draw the line when that person is bringing us down constantly? Have we communicated with them and said, hey, I love you and I care about you, but you're doing XYZ and I can't take it anymore. Or I need this from you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You had the best day too. You feel that, Mark? I get it. So, when your peace is constantly being disrupted by relationships or friendships, that's when, if it's a pattern, that's when we should probably draw boundaries. When your peace is disrupted and it's a pattern, that's when we need to draw boundaries. Exactly. So sometimes we give up asking for help or communicating because we've been let down too often. That's a pattern. That's when we let that relationship go. That's when we let that friendship go. That does not mean that we hate that person, but they are no longer supporting growth. They are no longer supporting us. Now, we have to make sure that we are supportive of our friends too. But here's the thing. Do we have the energy to support every single one of our friends? Do we have the energy to show up every time someone needs something? I don't know about you, but I don't. I don't always have the mental capacity or the physical capacity to show up for every person that asks for help. We try, but here's the thing, it can get exhausting if we're showing up for everybody. So at what point do we communicate? I'm here for you, I'm here to listen, I'm willing to lend an ear. Or, hey, I can't mentally, I understand, I feel you, I hear you, and I know you're hurting, but I mentally cannot take on anymore right now. Can I send you some flowers? Can I take you out for coffee? Can I, very simple things. Communicate what you can do for a person. Communicate what you can't do for someone. Hey, I'm not in the mental capacity to help you with that, and I am so sorry. I know you are hurting. Yes. You can't fill everyone else's cup if your cup isn't being filled. Bestie! Hello! We could have the strength of people reciprocated when we needed it to recharge us, so to speak. Yep. I agree. You can't do it all. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting pulling the load for people. But you know what? If it's not a pattern of pulling the load for everyone, and it's just every once in a while, that's okay, because sometimes we need that, right? Sometimes others need that from us, but we have to draw our boundaries. Boundaries don't mean there's something wrong with them, and boundaries don't mean there's something wrong with us. It just means I'm at that line of I can't do any more for you. I've done all I can. Give some advice, whether it's I think you need to see a professional, I can't help you any further. Yep, boundaries protect your peace. Exactly. And just like Tommy said, it's a mutual effort. It can't be one-sided. It has to be a mutual effort. Does that mean that your efforts might be equal? No. I may not be capable of what someone else is capable of. And that's for them to decide on their end, is do they need to draw a boundary of what they're doing for me because my capabilities aren't the same? I may have a friend who's hurting for money and their friends are able to give them money, but I am not where I can give them money. But what I can offer is a listening ear. I get that, Buzz. I get it. And I totally understand. Sometimes they take that and then make you the bad guy. But here's the thing. And I know I made a post about this last week that kind of fell in line with this conversation is let them talk. Because at the end of the day, your reputation will stand. Let them walk away. Let them talk. Your reputation will stand. Don't sink to their level. They may make us out to be the bad guy. Is that our fault? If we truly tried to do the best we could and we communicated that, is that our fault? That someone else felt we were the bad guy? No. When you're giving while you have nothing to give, you're doing yourself no good. You're doing nobody. Yeah, correct. Thank you. I appreciate it, Mitch. I really do. Here's another question. Are we staying friends with someone out of history? Do you have history with that person? Are we staying friends with them because we've been friends with them for a really long time? Are we staying friends with them out of guilt? Or do you feel obligated to be their friend? 3 things. To ask yourself, are we being friends with them out of obligation or a history or guilt? Perhaps it's time to let that friendship go. Because what good is it doing them or you to be friends with someone if you feel that way? Exactly. Real people will be able to see someone. Kaylin, thank you so much. Welcome in, girl. The people will believe it aren't worth your time. That is the key. That is the key right there. Your reputation will stand. The people that buy into you're the bad person don't know you. Their opinion doesn't matter. They aren't worth your time. Exactly. Just because we walk away from a friendship because it's harming us and it's toxic to us doesn't necessarily mean that someone is a bad person. Now, could they be a bad person? Absolutely. But just because we separate ourselves from someone, thank you for the hand heart, doesn't mean anything bad about you or anything bad about someone else. It's okay to walk away. Friendships aren't meant to last forever. Would I love to keep every single friend that I meet? 100%. I would love to keep every person that I've ever been friends with and just surround myself with that. But why? Why would I want that? For all the wrong reasons, right? There's a season for every friendship, and there's a friendship for every season. Getting rid of anyone who brings me down is a toxic friendship mentality. Yes, we're not getting rid of, we're not disposing, we're drawing boundaries there. The people we surround ourselves with will shape our future. It will predict our growth. So the people that we put our time and effort in, make sure that they have the same goals as you. Because if they don't, where are you going? Where are you going in life if you're surrounding yourself with people that don't have the same mindset? That doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're bad friends. It just means they're the wrong friends for you. Right? One thing, just as an example, me and Jeremy were a part of a very close-knit friend group for several years. At the beginning of our marriage, there were several families that had children about the same age as us, and every weekend was a party for them. Is that wrong? Do I think that that's wrong? No, that's them. You know, they were heavy drinkers Friday and Saturday, slept in most of the day on Sunday. Do I judge them for that? Absolutely not. But was that mine and Jeremy's goal for the weekends? No, it wasn't. And did I want my children to think that that's all we did on the weekends and that's how we got in, that's where we were in life? No. I wanted my children to see the hard work that Jeremy and I put in on the weekends and during the week to be successful. Does that mean their goals, they didn't have goals? No, they had goals. They had goals to be, whatever their goals might be, did not match mine and Jeremy's. So we removed ourselves from that friend group. If they ever called me and said, come hang out, I'd come hang out. I'm just not going to spend every weekend with them like we used to. It doesn't make them terrible people. It doesn't make them terrible friends. It's just not who I'm going to put my time and effort into. Do I love the idea of a large friend group of 4 or 5 families going and doing vacations together and spending a lot of time together? Absolutely. I do. But right now, that's not where our goals are. Been through a lot of that while getting sober. It's hard. And you know, I'm not judging anyone. They can do whatever they want on the weekends, but it got to the point where I was slightly concerned about the amount of intake. But that's their personal business. I'm not one here to judge. I just worried about the image that I was presenting to my children of, this is not the only way to have a good time. Do I drink in front of my children? Absolutely. They know what alcohol is. They know what it is, and they know that it's an adult beverage. Do I want them to think that the only way we can have fun is to drink a bunch of those and go hang out? No, that's not what I'm presenting to my children. So you just have to find those friends that match your goals in life and I keep saying goals, not just goals, but your same mentality. What is it that you're going for? Hold on, I'm sorry, I missed what you said. I hear way too often nowadays that people also use cut out the toxic people mindset and excuse to make the villains out of those that criticize them. So there's a fine line there of cutting out toxic people. You can let a toxic friendship go and never have to badmouth them again. You have to draw boundaries with toxic people. But does that mean that I go tell everyone else that they're toxic? No, because they might not be toxic to somebody else. They're toxic for me, and that's my personal. Do I cut them off? Yes, I 100% have cut off a toxic person in my life. They've been completely cut off. We gave them several options of, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we don't like to see. This is what we don't want around our children. And They refuse to change. They've been completely cut off. Did I go around bad mouthing them? Absolutely not. Did I go message all our friends that we're mutual with and say, hey, this person's toxic, we're not dealing with them anymore, we're not putting up with them, we've cut them out? Nope. Absolutely not. Mine and their Em and Lou, thank you so much. I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for the heart me and the popular. Negative things out of a place of love, yet some people either project their negative thoughts or want to feel above you. Sometimes people say negative things out of a place of love, yet some people either project their negative thoughts on you or want to feel above you. Yep. That's a hard one. I'm a very blunt person, so I have definitely addressed people and probably done that the best way I can. I have in the past been guilty of completely just downright dogging the person that I was having issues with because they just weren't listening to me and they didn't want to take my advice, and I was over it, and I attacked them as a person to their face, and that was uncalled for. That was very toxic of me. Instead, I could have very lovingly said, I've brought my issues with you. I've brought my issues to you several times. You choose not to listen. I can no longer continue this friendship with you. There is a way to approach the people, approach your friends, approach people, approach toxic people. There is a way to approach them in a loving way while still having boundaries and not creating an ugliness within yourself. I am blunt and I am very vocal, but I know the difference between being toxic. Yes. Tough love is a real thing, but I hate that word because so many people will be rude and blunt and be like, well, it's tough love. They've needed it. Tough love is a real thing, but what is tough love? Tough love may be you drawing boundaries with them and saying, we're done here. Tough love can be criticism with patience and understanding. We're all out here learning. Yes, you know, I didn't have very many friends in school or high school. And most of the time in my childhood, it was my mom being friends with their mom and, well, you're going to be nice to them no matter what, because we were always going to see them. And so now that I'm an adult, I'm going to be nice to them no matter what, but that doesn't give them the right to bring me down or to affect my own peace. That doesn't give them the right to have a relationship with me. I'm going to be kind to them, but I'm going to draw that boundary and say, we are not friends. There's no such thing as tough love. They take it and it's tough. Yeah, I like that thought. But what people use as tough loves oftentimes, Tanya, thank you so much, is an example of being mean. We're being mean. And there's a right way to do that. For different people. I can say the same thing to one person and say it to another, and it affect both people differently. It's because everybody's mind is different. You have to learn how to approach people. If it isn't love. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of different kinds of friendships and relationships. Some friends carry wisdom. Some friends bring light and joy to your relationship, your friendship. There are friends that actually help you grow. They're there for you and they grow with you. Some are friends that just are simply walking life with you. You know, they may not have much to bring to the table. I'm that person. I don't have a lot to bring to the table, but I will sit with you. I will walk with you. I can't financially support you. I don't have a lot of time on my hands to go physically spend a lot of time with someone. But there are different friendships for every. Tanya, thank you so much. Oh, I love you too, Stacy. Thank you. But you know, there may be a friend that can't do what I do. There may be a friend that doesn't have the capacity to sit and carry your load. But what they can do is go have coffee with you. Or what they can do is go work out with you, go spend time with you. There's all different kinds of friends. That doesn't mean that we have to have one specific friend. But at what point do you feel like you're doing all the effort and you have to say, hey, this friendship is no longer feeding for either one of us. It's hurting me while I'm still helping you. It's time to draw a little bit of a boundary. Don't you love that, Mitch? There's such an awesome community here, and I love that so much, that we all have different thoughts and different opinions, and I love that. And that's such an amazing community. It's a fine example of what different friends are here for. We don't all have to agree on the same thing, ever. But what we can do is love and support each other. We all bring something different to the table. Each person brings something different to the table. And that's how life is. Does that mean that we get to sit at the table and wait for people to just sit down with us because it's our table and we're waiting for them to serve on us? That's not what I mean by that. The time and effort that I put in to bring to the table is what I expect other people to bring to the table, so that we're building this community. Hey, Kennedy. Hello, beautiful. It's a table that offers so many different things, but we're all each individually putting in the time and effort. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Here's another one, though. How do we not be that toxic friend? How do we not be that toxic friend? We have to pay attention to our friends' boundaries, right? How can we not be that toxic friend? I have a lot of trauma. I've had a lot going on in the last couple years. I'm sure you do too. You have a lot going on. And when we're asking for help, we need to make sure that we're stating what kind of help we need and not over asking our friends to do more than they can or they're willing. Healing so we don't bleed on our friendships. Ouch. Trauma bonding. It's a great one, right? Buzz, I often think that people bring what they're seeking themselves. If they're seeking to be loved, They bring so much love to the table in hopes that it is returned to them. You're seeking happiness. And by creating a happy environment for other people, you're fulfilling yourself. But that gets exhausting sometimes, right? It gets exhausting bringing that to the table but not filling your own cup. Now, Kennedy, that doesn't mean that we go to every single one of our friends and tell them everything that's going on with us. That will hurt. I've had that bite. I've been bit in the ass with that. That hurts. But find someone that you truly trust, that you feel like can carry that load. You'd be surprised. You've learned how to ask before you can risk asking too much. Yes, it's called communication. Yes. I get that. But here's the thing, though. We have to stay open to new friendships and relationships, though. Some people may come from our past. Some people have heard this story. I am best friends with someone who married my ex from college, who I just knew I was going to marry. But she married them. She married him. I wasn't really open to that friendship at the time. And now we are extremely close. And for those of you that were in my live last week, where I started bawling my eyes out because she came through, that was that friend. She sat with me many nights with me bawling my eyes out. I would have never imagined that my best friend would have been someone who took the love of my life away. Just kidding. But at that time, that's what it was. He was the love of my life. And she married him. And now she's my best friend. But we have to be open to meeting new people and building new friendships. We can't be closed off. And a great way to close ourselves off is to only build friendships on this platform. Oops, did I say that? I love this platform. Don't get me wrong. There are some great people on this platform. But if we are only closed off to building relationships online, we will never be fulfilled in life. Now, can those relationships become in-person relationships? Yeah. I just had quite a few of them come spend a week with me here. I love that so much. Those are amazing friendships that we can have. But if we're focusing so much on here and not going out and creating other relationships in person, we're not fulfilling our duty as a good friend, nor are we allowing ourselves to be fulfilled with in-person relationships. I got a puzzle piece. I haven't been live that long. Okay, thanks. Sorry, guys. Had a friend who had a million problems but wouldn't listen to your one problem. Love them from a distance. Love that friend from a distance. If they aren't here to support and they're only seeking They're not your friend. They're not the friend that you need right now. They are not the friend that you need right now. And you are not the friend that they need. If they're all take and you're all give, that is not the relationship that you need or deserve. Does that mean that you can't be friends? No. Not at all. It may be a little while before you can be friends with them, though. Do we often give what we hope to receive in a friendship? I know I do. Our expectations of other people are what we put out. Perhaps we're setting ourselves and our friends up for the wrong expectations. You're putting out so much love, and they're not able to put out that same amount. Perhaps we have too much of an expectation of that person. Does that mean there's something wrong with them? No. Here's the thing, though. If it comes down to respect, there's an issue. But if it's not a disrespect and you're just expecting what you give, we're setting ourselves up as well as them for failure in a friendship. You can't relate to that, wishing they'd listen, because you don't share. I've never wished they'd listen. But Jacob, have you ever wished that you could just share and that they would listen, though? I mean, I think we're all adults, and I think that we've all shared and regretted it at some point, overshared to a friend, or I just don't. If there's anyone in this chat that has never overshared and regretted it, please say I, because I want to know your secret. I want to know your secret. Anyone? Has anyone? I think we as human desire such deep connections with people that we often overshare things that maybe we shouldn't with our friends, but sometimes it backfires on us. 1 or 2 times, yeah. And then we learn our lesson, right? Everything happens for a reason. It might not be clear now, but maybe later. I also don't share. So I'm very cautious with who I share, but I am a very open person. Because I want to be real with people. Carly, thank you so much for the heart me. And I think that that's just me. That's a personal thing with me, is I overshare way too much. But it's because I want other people to relate. I want to see if they can match energy. Not because I want them to overshare to me, but because I want them to know that I'm open and I'm honest. Has it backfired on me? Yes. Have I regretted it? Kind of, but at the same time I learned my lesson. We grow from that. We learn from that. What do you do about boundaries being overcrossed when they give and when you give and they take? You know, I wish I had the one statement that could be used for all, but if boundaries are being crossed, you've made those boundaries to protect your peace. You gotta hold them. You gotta hold those boundaries. If you let that boundary sink lower and lower and they're able to cross over that boundary, you're letting them do that. Don't let them do that. You have to keep that boundary. Lessons always learned the hard way. Yes, it is. I heard a quote earlier this week, and I'm going to read what you said, Kenny. I had to learn to be open so my mental health doesn't get bad again. I shouldn't all the time. I'm going to tell you right now. If talking about it keeps you here, there is no such thing as oversharing. If talking about it keeps you here, talk about it. If they're not listening, find someone else to talk about it with. Some things are hard to learn the hard way over time, mostly from own expectations and hurts, yes. But I agree. It's our own expectations of other people that may not be able to match those expectations. But communication is key. Kaylee, thank you so much for the heart me. Sorry guys, I'm behind. Buzz, I'm seeing this, but I need to know. What does this mean? Do I need to say it again? If talking about it keeps you here, talk about it. You don't have to be quiet. You just have to find the right people that are willing to listen and hear you out. You are allowed to talk about what you want to share. And if someone's not willing to hear you out, they are not your friend. If someone is not willing to sit and listen, they are not your friend or support you. Now, there are times where I've had to say, I love you. I have a lot going on personally. I can't be your person to take on everything. I'm an empath. I take on everything that people share. Francis, hello. Thank you so much. But what I can do is offer some support of, I can take you out for coffee. Just give me a day or two. I have a lot going on today. It's heavy. Or, can we talk about this in a couple hours? I got a lot going on. You have to communicate with your friends if it's too much. But if you're not able to talk, perhaps they're not who you need right now. The spoon theory. What's the spoon theory? Please share. I love you, Peyton. Peyton! Hello. Sorry, you walked in at a time that I couldn't yell. What do you all do to help your mental health? That's a good one. That's a good question. It depends on what's going on that day or what's going on. I've had a lot going on this last week. My mind has been spinning a lot. I feel very unfulfilled with some things going on. Will, hello, stranger. I had been sinking to the oh woe is me portion, and I know I shared this at the beginning almost an hour ago, but I've been sinking to the oh woe is me, and I finally said, we're done. We're not doing this oh woe is me. Shake it off. talk about it to somebody. I shared some things that were going on. They listened. And then I found my out was going to be going and helping someone else. Does that work for everybody? Absolutely not. Therapy shopping, get a little treats. But at what point do we create a boundary on that, though? At what point do we have to say it's now becoming an addiction, whatever it might be that we're finding, to help us? If it's numbing us, we probably shouldn't be doing that. Oops, I just called myself out. If I am keeping myself busy to not handle what's going through my head, perhaps it's not the healthiest. Okay, I might scream, there's a wasp. Sorry guys. But having a friend to check in on you, or you to trust, going to them, that's key here, is finding someone that you can go to and say, I'm not doing okay. And talking about it. 100 days sober, Francis. I am so freaking proud of you. That is amazing. Way to go. I'm sorry guys, I'm coming down. You start your day out with a limited number of spoons and you spend them to do things. So you can have spoons left, but not for certain things. That's a really interesting concept. I love that. Sorry guys, I'm working down the comments. I'm dyslexic and I'm really slow at reading. I apologize. I'm not very good at this. I wouldn't know what to do if I had more people. You're about to let the actions of one or more people push me away from a place you love to be. So you're going to allow someone else's doing kill your love for something that you have. Don't let that be an excuse. Don't let someone else run or push you away. Draw a fine boundary and let them go. Do not give them one more thought. Do what you love without the thought of them. Don't ever let them dim your light. Have an addiction to coffee. It could be worse. Yes, my friend, it could be. I love my coffee. Trying to find one person for sure. It is. It is. It's hard to find those people. But I feel like when we're genuine and we're open and we're honest, right up front, it'll tell us whether or not we can trust them right up front. Hopefully. You're not a talker. Oh my gosh, Jeremy, why did you and I say the exact same thing? We are the same person. Thank you so much, Francis. Trying to find it again. We cannot let other people bring us down, and that's what it comes to, is who we surround ourselves with predicts our future. If they're not growing and they're comfortable where they're at, great. But if you're trying to do more or to go in other directions, perhaps they're not the friend for you. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means they're not a good relationship for you. Charlotte! Hello, beautiful. Wife me up. Yeah, Jeremy, wife me up. I ain't got no rings on yet. Yo, I don't know if I've ever not had a disagreement with a friend. I don't think I've had every person that I've ever been friends with. At some point, I've had a disagreement with them. But we're adults, and we have had conversations about it, and we've talked about it. There's a way to go about it, and if you're two grown adults that are in the same place, that are willing to lift each other up, they definitely shouldn't be bringing you down. Sometimes you gotta take some time away from people. Yes, I agree. You start your new job tomorrow. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. Ignoring is easier than feeling. Yeah, but you can ignore it all day long. It's not going to go away, right? Ignoring it or letting it go is not going to, it's not going to go away. We're adults. We're humans. We have to discuss things. You're going to have some hard, deep conversations with people over whatever it might be. Get to the bottom of it. And if you can't get to the bottom of it, it's time to step back. Ignoring and not feeling whatever it might be is just compacting for it to later explode when someone pops that can. You can pack it down all you want. You can pack it down for 15 years. Or almost 30 in my case, but whatever. You're gonna explode if you don't feel it. Let that, it's like shaking up a, wow, I just did that on live and I don't need anybody's, anyway, shaking up a soda can. You can shake it up, you continue to shake it. Eventually someone's gonna pop that top and it's gonna explode. Or you can sit on it and let it go for a little while. Talk about it. Give it time. And then once someone pops that top, it's not going to be an explosion. You can sit on it. It doesn't mean you have to address it right then and there. Whatever the topic might be, whatever the disagreement might be, doesn't mean it has to be handled at that very moment. But ignoring it's not going to make it go away. And don't be afraid to let go of a friendship. I don't know what's happening in my house, but don't be afraid to let go of a relationship or friendship. Not every friendship is meant to be forever. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to grow apart. There doesn't have to be drama involved to let somebody go. There doesn't have to be drama involved to take space or time away. I've not been live in over 2 weeks because I just can't find it to me to ignore the problem. I get it. And that's your boundary, Buzz. That is your boundary that you have set. And until you can reach it, don't let someone push you. Know your limits. Know your limits. But don't let it be forever that someone else is dimming your love for something. You're broken, but you don't want your people to pick up your broken pieces. How are they your people if you're not willing to let them help you? Your people are there to help you. Now, does that mean that they come in and pick up every single broken piece? No, we have to do it sometimes by ourselves. But you have people who love you. Let them help you. We've all been broken. It's human. It's human to be broken at times. They're your people. Let them have that bond with you. Taylor, hello, beautiful. You hate knowing they're worrying about you. I get that. But hold on, let me ask you this. Do you hate knowing they're worrying about you because you feel like you don't deserve for them to worry about you? Thank you, baby. Do you feel like you don't deserve for someone to care about you or to worry about you? Butters, hello, my love. You actually don't want them to worry about you. Do you worry about people? Isn't that how human nature cares and loves about people? I worry about the people I love. That's normal. That's human nature. And oftentimes I don't want people to worry about me because I'm okay. I'm good. That's a lie. I'm not okay and I'm not good all the time. But oftentimes wonder if that's because I feel like I don't deserve for people to give the same compassion and thought to me that I give to other people. Hello. Love your face. I need the wasp to go away. I'm wondering if y'all can hear it buzzing around the mic. You don't like to be a downer. And that's okay. We don't have to be the Debbie Downer in every aspect, but how can we heal if we don't have support? And how can we support if we don't know you need it? Sorry, I was making an odd face because anyway. You're a people pleaser and worry about others, always helping others. I don't like being the worried. But we already know that we often feel like we don't deserve other people's worries. Deep down inside, we really want people to care. That's why we're here, right? That's why we're talking about this, is deep down inside we want people to love on us and we want them to care about us just as much as we care about them. But how can we build that relationship with people if we're not trying or communicating what we need? I don't want them to worry about me. Well, I don't really want anyone to worry about me either, but perhaps that's their way of loving on you and caring for you and being a friend to you. Perhaps that's their way of being a friend to you, is worrying about you and checking in on you. Butters, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because that is such a hard place to be. Narcissism that's a whole beast. That is a whole beast within itself. I have faith and I believe that you can get through this, but I know that that is so hard and heavy. Yep, I was raised by one. I was married to one. I'm, that's so hard. Exactly. When you have those people that say the exact thing you needed to hear, and that feels amazing. But what if they don't know what you need to hear or what you need? Does that mean they're a good friend? No, not necessarily. That just means that they're not who you need at that very moment. But that doesn't mean we cut them off. Choose depth over frequency. Something I wrote down. Choose depth over frequency. What does that mean when it comes to friends? Anyone? I have a friend that I see maybe once every 4 or 5 months. It doesn't happen very often because we are very, very busy. But we can pick up where we stopped every time. Like nothing. Our we can spend 6, 7, 8 hours talking and never feel like we get enough. I feel like everyone deserves one of those friends. Versus, I could have friends that I see every single day at work. Do I love them? Absolutely. But there's such a surface level relationship because we've never gone further. Does that mean that we couldn't? No. We just have to be careful who we put our time with, our effort into. Strict narcissist. Ooh, yes, Taylor. I think you and I have had conversations about that and how much we relate to that. That's why I refrain from talking now. I hike or get lost in music. You ended a long time friendship because Francis, but you did that for yourself. And I want you to know that that wasn't selfish at all. You did that for yourself. You protected your peace. They were not your friend. They were not a good friend for you. If it's all about them and never about you, we can't do that. And since 2020 and me going through some significant trauma, I've had to be very careful with myself about people want to know, like, how's it going or what's going on at that point. You know, we're within a year. We don't talk about it much anymore, but when I was going through some really hard times, people wanted to know what was going on and how everything was going, and I would talk about it. But I felt like I talked about it so much, and it was a really heavy topic that I felt like I was going to bring my friends down. So I was really careful, and I would draw some boundaries so that I wasn't that toxic friend. That's all we ever talked about. But we also have to remember when someone's going through something really heavy, here's my phrase, if it keeps you here, talk about it. Talk about it. I bet it was hard to walk away. But it was hard to walk away because of the idea or the concept of that friend, right? The idea the love of the idea of that friend being a good friend to you. Because you had someone. But did you really have someone? They were present. They were there, but were they actually there for you? Were they supporting that growth that we're talking about? And Taylor, that's how some people are, is talking about it makes them sink deeper. In my aspect, talking about it made me deal with it. Made me Sarah, hello. I'm sorry. I really hate that. Alright, you guys. I have to hop off. I feel like this wasn't long enough, and I feel like I should touch more on this. And I really want some points from y'all, or some questions, or statements, or whatever, so we can go off them. Because I put a lot of time and thought into this, and then I make notes, and then I end up talking to you guys instead, because y'all have so much to add to this. That's what I love about being able to talk with y'all, is how much y'all bring to the table. It's not just me here. It's all of us in a community of people that I have come to love and adore. But I hope from everything in the chat and to things that I have said, I really hope that it has at least helped one of you, because I know it's helped me. And I've said this over and over, that oftentimes I'm bringing things that I'm struggling with to the table, because talking about it and giving you guys advice is also giving myself advice. Talking about it's helping me. So I appreciate you guys for being here and allowing me to talk my own problems out with you. If you want my email, so that you can make comments or remarks or statements or topics that you would like me to talk about next Sunday, please let me know so I can send it to you. It will all be confidential unless you say that you're okay with your name being shared. Everything's going to be confidential unless you confirm you want it shared. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for hanging out. I really, really love you guys. And I really hope that y'all have a good week.